Hello everybody and welcome back to Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. In this episode, it's kind of like a bonus episode. We're just going to test out our team and see how it fares in a little bit of PvP with someone at a similar point of the story. I'm also going to commentate through this and just talk through what my thoughts are with each move and decision I take. If you like what we're doing here, please drop a like, please subscribe to see more of the story continue in the further episodes. And yeah, drop me a comment if you want to give me any feedback around what I did right, what I did wrong, or potentially strategies for the future. Okay, so you can see here my opponent's team on the left and our team here on the right. There's some slight level variation with him having a slightly higher maximum level, however his Lucario is only level 35. So there's potential to be exploited there. So with him preparing his team, we need to be a little bit careful here. What I decided to do was actually to open with Drapion. Reason being that Drapion can use Toxic and can hopefully infect his first Pokemon with Poison, which could eventually do some damage to it. So he leads with his Luxray, which I wasn't expecting. When we've battled previously, he knows that I tend to lead with my Rock type, or in this case Ground type with Hippowdon. So I was expecting him to lead with his Empoleon. So I was hoping that some Poison might be able to get some damage done with that. However, unfortunately he actually leads with Luxray, so I should have gone with Hippowdon. His Thunder actually does an enormous amount of damage to us here. I thought Drapion was meant to have pretty high defences, so could have sponged, well, more than one attack, but unfortunately not. So all we can do is use Cross Poison, get a bit of damage in. Fortunately we get a critical hit. And he uses Thunder again, which takes out Drapion. So making a small mockery of the lower accuracy of Thunder by hitting both times. However, Toxic does hit him, so Luxray is now very close to being defeated. I think now we're going to go with Hippowdon, as he is resistant to the electric type, so that'll force my opponent into a switch, and it means we can also get up some Stealth Rocks, which should damage Luxray next time it comes into the field, and will hopefully take it out in conjunction with the Poison. Surprisingly, he doesn't switch here, he actually goes for the move Bite, which is quite a clever move from him, to be honest, because it means that he manages to get some more damage in and keep Luxray in the fight for just one more turn, although the Poison does there take him out. So he got some damage in before he fainted, as he would have been knocked out anyway when it came to the battle. Sorry, when it came to switching back in next time, so he did well to get some damage out of him. My opponent sends in his Empoleon, which is his strongest Pokemon. I'm not sure whether to switch or not here, so I actually go for the Bulldoze in the hope that Hippowdon's high defences would sponge one attack, and then Bulldoze could get some damage in on Empoleon and take away some of its speed. Unfortunately, his Brine is very, very strong and takes Hippowdon down in one hit, which I wasn't fully expecting. So I'm in a bit shocked here and in a bit of a pickle, as we've only taken down one member of his team and he's taken down two of ours, so that puts us on an immediate disadvantage, as we now don't have Poison, Dark or Ground moves to choose from. So we go with Electabuzz. Electabuzz, unfortunately, until he's evolved, is not that strong, but we're still going to go with him and see what we can do. The Quick Claw activates, which would have allowed us to move first. However, my opponent did a good switch and switched out to Golem. I should have really gone with, tried to go with a Dynamic Punch, which, if it had hit, despite its 50% accuracy, if it had hit, would have done huge damage to Golem and confused it. However, unfortunately, I went for the Discharge, and what the Discharge means is that it doesn't affect ground, so nothing happened with that. I go with a Dynamic Punch. He goes with, I believe it was an Earthquake, both of which miss. So we move straight onto the other turn. I use Dynamic Punch again, and for the second turn in a row, it misses, which is incredibly frustrating to miss twice in a row. And he uses Earthquake, and that's Electabuzz gone. I feel like Electabuzz was going out either way here, but I was hoping that I would get some good damage into his Golem beforehand. In hindsight, it was a poor decision, and I should have switched out to Manaphy. But I do use the opportunity here now that we've fainted to get Manaphy out. I think he's going to switch here, so I actually go for the Tail Glow rather than Surf. Tail Glow pushing Manaphy's special attack, which is already very strong, pushing it up a few levels higher. So that should get into the point where even not effective attacks are doing really high damage. So I'm waiting for my opponent to make his decision here. When he eventually does, he actually doesn't go for the switch, so quite a few times here I'm reading my opponent wrongly. But we still managed to get the Tail Glow off, get some special attack in the bank, and his Earthquake actually does less than half damage. So now with our special attack absolutely raring, I think even if he switches into one of his more defensive Pokemon where it's non-effective, I think we should still do some decent damage here with Surf. So he does switch into Empoleon. The stones dig into him, and then Surf should do a pretty good amount of damage. I'm hoping it takes half, which it does. So taking half off is good because we, I imagine, are probably the faster, which we are. So Surf again now allows us to take out his Empoleon. And that takes away one of the weaknesses for our Infernape as well, should we need him to come in and sweep at the end. Of course, Infernape is also super effective against Empoleon Steel type. He decides to go for his Staraptor. I believe he's trying to outspeed my Manaphy. However, his Staraptor unfortunately is only level 40. So we are a couple of levels higher than him, and we obviously have that huge special attack boost. So being a couple of levels higher, we are quicker than Staraptor. And with that boost, we're going to do a huge amount of damage with Surf, and Manaphy here is absolutely carrying me. That becomes a theme, I think. Manaphy is definitely the strongest member of our team. Despite not looking the strongest, he is incredible. Surprisingly high defensive stats, along with good speed and good special attack, especially once boosted with Tail Glow. He sends in his Lucario. Now, Lucario, unfortunately, is only level 35, whereas we are level 43. So we are a fair bit higher level. So we should be able to defeat this. And we are the quicker, so Surf once again comes in, hits Lucario, and predictably takes it down in one shot. And that leaves our opponent now down to their final one Pokemon, which is Golem, which obviously we are super effective against. So this just shows the benefit of having good setup. You know, being able to get that Tail Glow up, getting the rocks in to do a large amount of damage, which was particularly important with Pokemon like Staraptor. Having a good setup can be the difference between winning and losing in a battle. My opponent here has gone for pure damage moves, whereas Tail Glow here has allowed Manaphy to do much more damage than I would have done if I'd just used purely damage attacks. So now my opponent's down to his last Pokemon. We've still got a few left, so we're going to win this fairly comfortably. His last throw of the dice is Magmar. Of course, both he and I are going to trade our Electabuzz and Magmar in the future to evolve those into their final forms of Magmortar and Electivire. But for now, we just wanted to see what our teams could do without that trade. Manaphy, of course, still extremely quick, still gets the Surf off fast, and that is just an easy KO, and Manaphy is proved to be absolutely levels above everyone on my opponent's team here, particularly with the Tail Glow up. So that's one win for us. We are going to have a second battle here to see if we can come off top. Best of three, basically. We decided to play again with the exact same rules and same teams, but if I win, we're not going to play the third battle. We'll just go back to the story, and it will allow him to train his Lucario, for example, up to the same level as the rest of his team. So now we move into the second battle. As you can see, exactly the same rules. Just standard single battle up to level 50. Same teams again. And we're obviously going to use, we only have one battle team, so we're going to use just our party team. You can see we've given them all different items just to try and give us a little bit of an edge. One that seems to have made a difference is putting the Mystic Water on Manaphy has definitely given it a bit of a boost. So trying to work out what he's going to open with. I have a feeling he might open with his probably his Golem, but I'm not fully sure. So I'm going to go with Drapion again and just try and get that Toxic up for a second time, because having something that whittles away their health along with Stealth Rock will be quite advantageous. And it'll make him a little bit more scared to change into that Pokemon. If it's a Golem, that'd be good, because his Golem is strong and is strong against quite a few of my party members. As expected, he did indeed use Golem. Therefore, we're going to open up with that Toxic, just to get that in place. I'm aware, of course, that his ground types will be super effective against the poison part of Drapion. But Drapion's literally just there to get this Toxic up, and then we can shift around with the rest. He doesn't even take one hit, so his defences are really low. He's a couple of levels lower than the Golem, but I still thought he'd sponge maybe one hit. I'm not fully sold on Drapion currently, but we'll see how he gets on as he levels up. I'm actually going to switch not to Manaphy, but to Infernape. I'm hoping that with Infernape I can get a couple of good hits in and then switch him out. So close combat here, I'm hoping we'll one hit. And it doesn't, so yeah, we lose quite a bit of defense there, and I was hoping to take it out in one, but this Earthquake could be poor for us. And yeah, actually we kind of shot ourselves in the foot there. Reduced our own defenses, and then didn't do enough damage really, and his Shell Bell restores the health that Toxic's about to take, so keeps him in the battle. And not a good strategic call from us at the beginning of this. That's 2 team members taken down here already to his 1. We're now going to go with Togetic, as I'm not sure he has many answers to the fairy typing if we take out this Golem. So we'll boost our special attack up a little bit, and then Toxic should take Golem out, and at that point we've then got quite a strong attacker here with Togetic. Now its special attack is boosted. So I'm doing similar here, hopefully, to what I quite often do with Manaphy, in that I'm boosting Manaphy up, boosting Togetic up, sorry, ready for then when he switches in the next Pokemon. That is assuming that his next Pokemon isn't a Steel type, and I completely forgot about his Lucario. I didn't mean to use Aerial Ace, though. I meant to use Fairy Wind. Of course, Aerial Ace will not have any benefit from the nasty plot I just put up, so that was really foolish of me. I should have gone with the Fairy Wind. And I think his Metal Claw here, oh dear, was not going to take us down. But of course that will be, and there we go, yeah, Fairy Wind takes it out. Now we've got a nasty plot up, should have opened with that, but his Lucario level 35 does do quite a bit of damage. As soon as he has it fully in step with the rest of his team, it will definitely be a force to be reckoned with. So Togetic has done pretty well here. We've kind of levelled the scores out somewhat. We've got, of course we're going to lose Togetic very shortly, but we've taken out a few of his stronger Pokemon, so we're definitely going to grow into the rest of this battle, hopefully. I'm going to go for Try and use a roost for now, but I think he will just go with a quick attack, or he'll just be quicker than me in general. And there falls Togetic. Definitely did its job. Of course, still not at its final evolution. So our team's definitely got a lot more potential in it, with Electabuzz and Togetic still to evolve. So we're going to go with Electabuzz actually, just because of its super effective typing against Staraptor, and because he's lost his Golem, we can afford to switch in here knowing he doesn't have a counter to it. And we're going to go with Discharge, knowing that he doesn't have a ground type to sponge the attack. And Discharge takes Staraptor out in one, showing how powerful Electabuzz already is. It's worth mentioning that Electabuzz has a nature at the minute that increases his physical attack. Electabuzz as a Pokemon actually doesn't have the greatest attack, he's more of a special attacker. However, when he evolves into Electivire, then he gets very good attack. So the nature will become more beneficial once it's evolved, but for now we're still using special attack based moves. So he switches in his Magmar, which is of course his version exclusive opposite to Electabuzz. So we can have a little scrap out here and see who's going to win. And his Magmar actually does a hell of a lot of physical fire damage, so we need to be aware of that in future. Taking us down in 2 shots. And we're left with 2 members of our team left. We of course have Manaphy and Hippowdon. But Manaphy, of course, as we saw in the last battle, is extremely strong, despite the fact that it's one of the lower leveled members of our team. So we're going to hit up that Tail Glow straight away, as he'll either switch out or not do a huge amount of damage. So that means that we can get the Tail Glow up and hopefully start doing some real damage to the rest of his team and sweep up most of the rest of his team. Surprisingly, he doesn't go for the switch. However, I somewhat doubt he'll be able to do much damage to us. Although he actually goes for a Dynamic Punch, which is a pretty strong move. Always causes confusion when it hits, but it only has 50% accuracy. It's the same move that we have on our Electabuzz, and I was quite surprised that it actually hit, which is frustrating when we missed 2 in a previous battle, and now he hits his first attempt. Which gives him an opening to do a Lava Plume, obviously not very effective, not going to do much damage. But it does hit a burn as well, so we're going to slowly have our Manaphy's HP whittled away here. And we're just struggling to get any kind of moves off, whilst he chips away at the Manaphy's health, which is not ideal for us, being confused and burned. But there we go, now we've been able to use our Surf, obviously with Tail Glow up, and being super effective on Magmar, it doesn't have a hope. More damage taken from the burn. It looks like he's doing about 9 HP a time. If he hits us with a reasonable move next, we should probably be able to survive one more hit, although Luke's Ray is not ideal. I'm actually going to go for the switch, as we do still have Hippowdon available. Obviously with full HP as well, we can get Hippowdon in, where he's resistant to those electric type moves. Hopefully he didn't read this, and he did use an electric type attack. The Sandstream is actually not ideal for us, as when we switch back into Manaphy, it's going to get hit by both the Sandstorm and the Burn, so it will chip his health away pretty hard. He did actually go for the electric type moves, so that was a good switch, allowed us to not take any damage this turn. He also goes for the switch and sends out Empoleon. We've gone for the Bulldoze, so this will still be super effective on him, although he of course also has type advantage on us with his water type moves, whereas we are using ground against his steel type. Shell Bell gets us back up to full HP, and we are going to switch back in to Manaphy, just to try and stop Hippowdon from getting one hit KO'd by the Empoleon. I think we should be able to get one attack out from Manaphy, at least, hopefully. So he uses Brine, which of course does double damage when you're on less than half health, and that was a terrible decision by me, because now the Sandstorm does damage Manaphy and takes it out, and what a waste of Manaphy. We switched in and just instantly got him KO'd. That was a terrible decision. Should have just stuck with Hippowdon. So now my opponent has the advantage here with 2 Pokemon to 1. However, he also has the type advantage. He uses Brine here, and we do just about manage to sponge that attack. And then we get a Bulldoze off, which reduces his speed. Not that's going to matter, as the Sandstorm is actually going to take him down here, I believe, unless it doesn't hit the Steel type. Oh no, it didn't. But we have reduced his speed twice now with Bulldoze, so hopefully this hits quicker than he can. And it does. So we're clinging on here. He of course has his Luxray still, which we have a type advantage against. However, we don't have a huge amount of HP. We have seen previously that his Bite doesn't do a huge amount of damage. So I think we do have an opportunity for a move here to get some damage done into his Luxray. Alternatively, we could also go for the rest to get our HP back, and I don't think the amount of damage he can do would be enough to make the rest not worth it. So I think if we... Oh, it's a hard decision. We'll go for the Bulldoze to begin with, because I don't think he can one-hit us here. Yeah, I was right. So he only does about 23 damage a time. So we'll go for the Bulldoze here. His Intimidate, unfortunately, has reduced our attack. So we don't even get halfway there. But Shell Bell restores some of our HP, and we're also going to rest next turn to get us back up to full HP. And then if we're asleep to 3 to 5 turns, I don't think he'll do enough damage to KO us. So I think rest should secure us the win. So back up to full HP. Of course, we can only hope that we come back within 3 turns, because if it's 5 turns, we might have to rest again, which would be inconvenient. But he's doing 21 damage at a time, unless he gets crits. So we just need to keep spamming this Bulldoze until we wake back up. Hopefully we wake up on this turn. And we do. There we go. And then Bulldoze is going to knock him down to 1 HP, or close to 1 HP. And he can't do anything about it. And he's lost his speed as well. So I think that's curtains for our opponent. And Hippowdon has just about clutched this up. Of course, we were 2 Pokemon to 1 down following my mistake with Manaphy, so this has been a good clutch up by Hippowdon. It can be really, really useful to have a Pokemon like this that's, whilst doesn't do the most damage, it has very high defense stats and can just sponge opponents' attacks. It's very useful to have. My opponent here doesn't appear to want to use a move, as he knows probably going to lose, and there goes Bulldoze. And that is another victory for us. And Hippowdon gets himself back up to half health, just to show off. And with that, that is curtains for us. I hope you've enjoyed watching our PvP battles. If you think there's anything I could have done better or should do better, or if you want to let me know of any interesting strategies of your own, please just drop a comment and let me know. If you're enjoying this series so far, please drop a like and subscribe. I do upload every single day at 1 PM, so you can keep up to date with the rest of my videos. I will be continuing on with the story in the next episode, so I hope to see you again for that one. I'm out.